Dance. Dance. You can see that look in my eye. Ain't gonna stop anytime soon. Roll up while I cry.
Here we go again. I mean, this is the truth show, and there's more. Oh, I'm not, and there's more. Oh, I'm not done yet. I mean, this is the truth show.
What's up? How y'all doing? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? Oh, it's been a long time coming, right? You're always the first one, my loyal fan, my loyal truth seeker. Yeah. We have a lot to talk about. I mean, a lot to talk about. We have a lot to talk about. I've been good. Thanks for asking. I hope you're good too. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and just jump on in here. Let me allow to introduce myself. My name is, I was about to start some old school rap. Anyway, my name is Keisha, and I would like to welcome anyone who's new and just not saying anything, just trying to give it a feel, just scrolling through the live show, whatever. Welcome to The Truth Show. I am the creator, the host, although I don't have anybody editing my videos or doing my scripts or anything of the nature, just me. I'm the tech host, the navigator, the producer, all in discuss the news from the 12th to today, because that's when I technically started typing this script, is from the 12th to today. So it'd be some old stuff that you guys are probably saying, oh, we heard that already. You know, what is going on? Well, I'm sorry. I had something to say and I already created this slide for, and I did all my hard work. So you guys are going to have to listen to it. But it's going to be from my perspective. And trust me, it's going to be really, really deep. It's not going to be boring. I promise you. Okay. Okay. So it includes the topics, of course, Trump's trip to China, the Republican / Maga and their attempts to cheat by redistricting, and among other gerrymandering and other things that they're doing. So we're definitely going to dive deep into that as well. And I'll give you my analysis and also my prediction on what I think will happen when the midterms come. Okay. Moreover, did you guys hear that Willow Smith may have had a child of her own? For some reason, she may have kept it secret. We had no idea. Don't forget to hit the like button. But she may have had a child of her own. So we're definitely going to talk about that. I will also uncover some blind items. Well, not a lot of blind items, maybe just one, honestly. I didn't go deep into the blind items. I didn't really go deep into celeb gossip in general. I only talk about Willow Smith because, you know, I know a lot about the Smiths, so I can really talk about that subject comfortably and not just saying what ifs and sound like a fool because I don't know these people. But I actually have read their books and I have followed them for a number of years. So everything I'm saying is more than likely factual. You know what I mean? Hi, King. How you doing, you little freak? Don't worry about it. I'm a freak too. And Kia, how you doing too? All right, let's get into this long show. I don't want to say let's get into it because too many people are saying that goddamn phrase, and I don't follow people, okay? I don't follow trends. I said them. I don't mean to sound conceited because I'm far from it, but I just don't. Anyway, get back to what I was saying. So it was told that Willow Smith may have had a child of her own. Did you guys hear about that? Why didn't you tell me? Gosh darn it. I will also undercover some other news as well. And I will also provide, and this is something I really have to say, and this is a brain food item, and it's going to be really, really deep. When I'm done with this live show, because I hope, first of all, y'all need to get y'all snacks, y'all drinks, coffee, whatever the hell y'all drink. Well, it's only about almost 1 o'clock here. I'm not sure what time it is there. 1, 2, 3, I don't know. Get comfortable because I'm about to entertain you right now. Okay, I'm about to feed you with so much information. You're gonna go through so many damn emotions. You're gonna be pissed. You're gonna be happy. You're gonna be sad. You're gonna be enlightened. All in this one damn show. Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. So get comfortable. If you're in your car, park some goddamn where, or go home and watch this on your big screen TV. I don't freaking know, but just get comfortable, okay? And share. Okay. Okay. Because I'm going to provide you a comprehensive analysis of Kevin Hart roasting. Everyone is getting it. What? I don't know. What? We need to dig deep into the past of these so-called rituals, and then we determine whether it was a ritual or not, okay? I would also discuss that as well as other topics, and if my sound going in and out, just stay with me here. Now, here are your warnings.
Please note that this is all alleged. I've never met any of these people.
I deeply researched all of my information.
This is a trigger warning. In this video, I may be
talking about or showing sensitive material about some subjects or topics that may be disturbing or upsetting or may bring forth some troubling memories, as you read in the description or title. With that said, either in the video now or brace yourself. Aside from that, enjoy. If that was giving you a double echo, you should be used to that by now. All right. So again, of course, we're going to talk about our first topic here, which is politics. Let me pull up that. Oh, and FYI, those are AI generated. I don't look like those AI generated videos. I mean, my body type is literally in between those AI videos, but I don't. Okay, I do look like that. Yeah, never mind. Who cares? Anyway, let's get back to what I was saying. Okay, so the politics. Okay, so as we all have heard, I'm sure many of us have heard. Okay, this story is it's hitting in a lot of places, and I've heard the Don Lemons talk about it. I heard the Joy, her last name escapes me. She talked about the Midas touched on a little bit. Midas Touch is more so, trying to oust Donald Trump. I love Midas Touch. I love Joy. What's her name? Reed. I forgot her name. Anyway, and Don Lemon, all the rest of the talk shows and things of the nature, and all the ones that I watch, because I do watch a vast mass of politics every morning when I'm brushing my teeth or whatever I'm doing. I got my phone. I'm watching Midas Touch. I put up Don Lemon show. If I'm in some true crime zone or feeling or whatever, I put up the lady with the blonde hair who names escape me, her. And if I can't remember a name, can y'all be my memory for me, please? Because I'm gonna be real with you guys, okay? I don't always remember names. Even when I used to teach theater, and I used to teach theater class, I used to have someone else take the attendance because I can remember all my kids' names. I don't know. It just don't seem significant. I'm more of a character memorizer. Even when it comes to writing my scripts or my stories or anything of the nature, I can remember the characters I write, but I can't. It's a long story and it's completely irrelevant. Anyway, so this story is going to cover how the Republican officials in several southern states like Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Florida are they're literally reenacting to Supreme Court decision. I mean, because they're reacting to their decision of getting rid of the Voting Rights Act. Yeah, so with all of these Black people, well, colored people in general, and that includes Hispanics, they think they're, cut off. And, the Asians, they tend to get a pass a little bit, but, I'm sure they're going to, racially modify and subjectify them as well, because that's what they've been doing for years. Anyway, they are reacting to the Supreme Court decision that weakened part of the Voting Rights Act related to majority minority districts. I mean, they're moving fast to withdraw congressional maps, potentially adding 1 to 9 GOP leaning seats. Oh, yes. Now, before the 2026 midterms, though, legal and timing obstacles like the Purcell principle, could slow them down. Because they you understand, redistricting generally happens once every 4 years. Okay. Once every 4 years, you can have the opportunity. I believe it's once every 4 years. I could be wrong on the time frame, but it doesn't happen often. And when it does happen, you jump at it. And a lot of people don't really do a lot of redistricting. And when they are doing redistricting, no one's talking about it, but they're talking about it right now. Okay. And that is only because the current political figure that's in the White House right now that is giving a lot of people a lot of vibes of, okay, is he trying to take us back to Jim Crow days? First of all, as I stated, if you have been following me when it comes to the new age transitioning, okay, let me give you a recap here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, remember, the age of Taurus was when the Egyptian empire was out. You had, goddess Isis, you had got Osiris, and all the Egyptian and big, beautiful monuments running around. They have the bull heads, the ram's heads, all that stuff on their freaking heads. That was during the age of Taurus. Okay, and it really represented the Taurus. It really represented that bull. Okay, and then from that transition, it transitioned to the age of Aries, and that was when a lot of war, a lot of fights, and then you had the Roman Empire increasing. It kind of dominated that, and Roman Empire, even though the original Romans were historically recorded as dark people, okay, because they had to be melanated. But then as that transitioned over to the Greek age, which was in the midst of the Aries age, they wanted to get rid of the Black Egyptian Empire and their dominancy over the world, okay? And the dark Greeks and the dark Europeans, the point is the dark everywhere. They wanted to get rid of that race, so they decided to take a lot of the Egyptian characters and whitewash them to Greek mythologies or Greek goddesses or whatever, but they're not. And there was no unmelanated and non-melanated Caucasian people running around hot climates fighting war because they didn't need to. They wasn't in war, fighting with swords. And shields. No Caucasian woman was ever doing. So with that being said, there was always a pushback. And when the Aries and all that stuff and then enslaving people in the middle, because that was the high age enslaved them. The Romans enslaved them. Whoever was in charge. I know. Sorry that I'm stay with me here. Sorry about the in and out. Let me just close some windows here. There we go. I'm just closing some windows. Okay, just give me a moment here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, as I was saying, and thank you, King. Okay. I know. What is he doing? The man is upset. You know, we'll talk about him just a second. Okay, now get back to what I was saying. Okay, so during the Aries age, when they was coming from the Taurus age, they took all the Black Egyptians and they turned them slaves. They were now slaves. Okay, so that is why Moses had to take them out, because when they start whitewashing things and started plagiarizing and turn Black Egyptian stories and heroic stories and their triumphs, they start Greeking them and Caucasian them, whiting them up and everything. And then they made the Black people, they turned them to, Hebrew slaves, And then that's when the Pisces age came. And then you already know how to transition from Aries to Pisces, Moses, the water, Red Sea, blah, 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 all that stuff. We already know how that came into transition. Okay. So when that came into transition, Pisces age is predominantly where we all have been taught, because that's the only proven historical story that has been in historical times. Now you gotta understand, the original changing the original Black Indians that were in America, they start having them register themselves as Negro in color, and then they took Asians or Caucasians or whoever can pass and made them register as Indians, because they didn't want the Black people to know that they were original Indians in America. The original Indians, Black people, re-registered themselves as just Negroes or color. And then they had Asian people or whoever registered themselves in India because they wanted to completely annihilate the original habitators. So when you talk about the Indians that were here first, they were talking about Black Indians. They weren't talking about our brother and sister Indians with, the wavy hair, whatever. All Black people don't have, tight, kinky hair. Some of us do have wavy hair. Okay. So I just want to point that shit out. Whether they have wavy hair, kinky hair, so with that being said, us being enslaved and they're trying to wipe out, they tried to do everything here, coming from other places around the world, and started dominating the area and enslaving us and stuff. We were already here already, but they were, coming here and, have power. Some unknown entities giving them power. We already know who the unknown entity is. He's all in the Bible, causing all kinds of chaos and havoc. The Black people, because he didn't like the Black people, because he was dissed back in those days. Anyway, so what had happened was, when that started to come into full manifestation, we had to fight for our freedom then. After slavery ended, they wanted to enslave us another way, whether it was jailing us or keeping us from reaching the heights we were when they originally got here. So that's what they have been doing. They're trying to go back to by stripping the Voting Rights Acts, which the Voting Rights Act actually benefited Hispanic, Asian, anyone else who's not Caucasian. Okay. And Italians, even though they like to, get passes because they're Italian, but Italian is just another extended of Hispanics and Mexicans. So I don't know why they're trying to separate themselves, but that doesn't point. So with this Voting Rights Act, they're trying to take us back to that time. Not only are they trying to do that, they're trying to dominate the House and the Senate so they can get rid of the Constitution, so they can make it so we are all enslaved and submissive, where we won't be able to vote, and Trump would be literally a fucking king. And they can just do whatever they want. Have prostitution camps, have child molesting camps, turn United States into one big ass fucking suffering pool for sick pedophiles, rapists, and racists. Just literally fuck us all up. Seriously. That's what they want to do. But that's not going to happen. Because as I stated, every transition, there's always a pushback. Every transition, there's always a lot of bloodshed. Every transition, there's always havoc, war, and chaos. It's never good. We already heard a little bit of that huge fire transition that's going to happen in the book of Revelation in the Bible. That's when the transition is starting. This is why who said he don't want it. He wants us to refrain from it because he loses power. Yeah, the people that, G.O.D. who people was praising, he loses power during his age. He don't want to lose power. So here's the deal here. Okay, so with that history lesson in mind, even though I'm going in and out, and I do appreciate you guys hanging on from this, okay, we have here's what we should know here. Here, I know it's kind of headache me with the sound going in and out. I know that's pretty a big pain in the ass. All right, sorry about that, you guys. All right. Okay. All right. I had to fix some things up. Sorry. I do apologize. Okay. As I was saying. Okay, so here's what I was saying here. So they're moving fast, as you know, to withdraw congressional maps, potentially adding terms through legal timing obstacles like the personal principle. So let me just, slow it down here a little bit so you guys can know what I'm talking about here. Okay, so here are the key highlights here. Now, Louisiana suspended its May 16 House primaries. Okay, so they definitely suspended their primaries to withdraw maps after the ruling. That's what Louisiana did. And then Florida new map from Governor DeSantis could add 4 GOP seats. That's what Florida did. And then Tennessee and Mississippi are calling special sessions to consider redistricting. Yes. Now, remember, these are where the heavy March states. This was the heavy racist states. Heavy racism went on in these areas here. In Louisiana, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama. Yeah, it was heavy racism. Heavy, and Texas. Very, very heavy. Okay? So you have Tennessee and Mississippi who are calling special sessions to consider redistricting. So they're hoping by doing this, they will, dilute the Black representation and roll back the civil rights gains, and then, can have an upper hand, and then they can just win the House and the Senate. So the MAGA people, Republican people, are basically cheating to try to win the midterm because they know they're not going to win it fair and square, so they have to cheat, just like they rigged the election to get the election. That's what they're doing. So if you can open up and think about this for a minute. So when the Supreme Court withdraws the lines, it doesn't just move borders, it moves history. So what we're talking about is a single ruling that could reshape who gets heard in America's next election. So that's literally what's been happening and what is happening at this current moment. Okay? Now here's Alabama. Remember I told you about Alabama. Okay? Alabama, he wanted to revisit the 2023 map pending. See this, look, just listen to this.
Well, it certainly gives us an opportunity to look at those congressional districts again. Gives us a chance at all of them if we get some reprieve from the courts, and so we'll see how that goes, and certainly hope that the Supreme Court will overturn Amendment 14 and gives us a shot to revisit those.
What would you say from your perspective? I mean, other than Mr. Pro Tem, everyone was relatively silent on the goings-ons. What would you say from your perspective is the biggest misconception about what the bills do, and a message that you'd like to see out there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that, the biggest misconception is the thing where we actually, the Republican Party had that seat in, I guess, in Mobile, number 2 seat, that's the congressional seat 2, so the district 2, and so that was one of the things. There's been a push through the courts to try to overtake some of these red state seats, and that's certainly what happened in that one. And with the ruling that happened in Louisiana, we felt like it gave us a chance to maybe regain that seat, but also open up District 7. So I think that's happened. All we need now is the courts to overturn 14, and we can look at a new election. The thing is, if we did nothing was going to happen. And I applaud the governor for calling us back in and give us a chance to revisit that and look at it. And what happened here in Montgomery in that Senate seat probably should never happen to begin with. And so, of course, I'm at the point that probably none of it should happen again with. We got to draw those district lines, and for the court to interfere with that. And to be honest with you, I thought it was a slap in our face because we'd spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in reapportionment drawing those maps, and they let an 18-year-old kid from the university, I don't know how old he was, maybe 19, sent the map in, and they took it without a consideration for what we had done. And, the way that the system is set up, that's the job of the legislative body. And I think we've done it in an appropriate way, and it's disappointing that they didn't follow that rule.
Yes, I know. I heard. You said Reverend Sharpton, he was talking about this, and he went off. Yes, I know. It's crazy. They're literally, see, you understand, they're literally trying to change history, but it's not, you understand, if you haven't understand or ever understood or even listened to a damn thing I'm saying, the transition is going to happen whether they want it or not. There's no escaping it. They can try to cheat, they can try to manipulate, but the transition is going to happen whether they like it or not. Okay, it's going to happen too. They can just stop trying to cheat, because that's what they're going to try to do, is cheat, because that's the only thing they know how to do is cheat. They don't know how to do anything else but okay. So with that in mind, after you guys heard that, This is the map they're trying to redistrict at the moment. As you can see here, they're trying to take it back to this moment here. This is where this is what they're doing at the moment. They're trying to take it back to this. You see this? Yeah. And we revisit this in just, yeah. Take a good look at this, because this is literally what they're trying to do. Yeah, we're going to revisit this right after I talk about Trump and his stupidity. Now these areas over here are pretty much guaranteed blue states. I don't know how Wisconsin, Chicago, and the places that generally do not turn blue. I think that was completely rigged, because I have no idea. But this is what they're trying to do right there. I hope you guys are seeing that. Take a look at that, because this is what them fools are literally trying to do. Yeah. All right. So let's move on here. Just a moment. All right, so let's move on here. Okay, so with that in mind, let's talk about it, because we're going to revisit that map in a minute. We're going to revisit that map again, okay? That map is going to be revisited, okay? Let's talk about Trump visit with Xi, okay? We're going to talk about Xi. I am sick what's going on. It's getting on my nerves. I'm tired of all this. I feel like I'm in the midst of this nightmare. Did you see my video I did about Trump? I did a video about Donald Trump, and it literally talk about this. I mean, his psychoanalysis, the whole thing. It breaks down his mindset, the whole 9 yards. Check it out. It has him sitting in an interrogation room with the brain little image above his head. Go check that video out. Okay. I try to leave it at the end of this live show when I'm done. Okay, let's talk about Trump and Xi. Okay, as you know, there were talks between Trump and Xi. Okay, and that's China's president Xi Jinping. His name is Xi Jinping, which U.S. officials describe no breakthrough but constructive. Now, here's what the conversation supposed to have focus on. But we're talking about Trump here. He's thinking he's getting a free pass to tour the area. He's not interested in the goddamn business. He want to look at the place, get some food, some Chinese, whatever, leisure. He don't think he's going there for business, because he just, I know how Trump is. And I'm sorry for the in and out. Just stay with me here. I know it's annoying to stay with me here, okay? If it goes in and out, just stay with me. Okay. So the conversation is supposed to have focus on trade tensions, military communication, Taiwan, fentanyl production, and global stability. That's what the conversation is supposed to have focus on. But again, we are talking about Donald Trump here, okay? So that conversation went completely different. It did not focus on that at all, as we know. Now, the tone was cool, cautious, strategic, and not celebratory. That's what, President Xi Jinping was literally on. I mean, he don't like Donald Trump. He don't like where America is going to. The direction we're going to. It's ridiculous. So, but here's the thing here. Both sides did signal interest in avoiding escalation, but no major agreements. They want to escalate the war in Iran. They want to escalate the war in Taiwan. President Xi Jinping pretty much said he wanted the war to be over. But again, Trump is not there for that. He's not even paying attention half the time. He's sitting there just in the motion, like in serious autopilot. The man is a dummy. I mean to be rude, but he's a fucking dummy. And anyone don't know he's a dummy right now, I'm starting to question your freaking intelligence, okay? I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah, I need to go back to this. Now, here's the key points here, as you can see here. So the U.S. called the talks productive but limited. Okay? That's the U.S. called it. Productive but limited. Now, officials said the meeting helped stabilize communication but didn't resolve the big issue. It didn't stabilize anything. It was a waste of a fucking trip. And then how he introduced and how he welcomed Donald Trump was another question. Thing. He was mocking Trump. He knew Trump won't get the freaking picture. He won't get the mockery. He actually praised the kids. So the kids were very pretty, very whatever. He sounded kind of creepy saying that shit. And Xi Jinping wanted people to see that, how weird that is. He just said, oh, they were adorable. They did such a beautiful job. I'm so proud of them. Which a normal person would have said, Trump sounded like a pedo creep. Seriously. I mean, he said it over and over again. It was sick and disgusting. Crap. No one's stupid. The intro, I love it. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. I love the kids. It was so pretty. It was so good. Oh my gosh, the kids. I am not lying. That's what he said. For real. He said, oh my gosh, the kids. They were so pretty. They were so beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love the kids. Seriously. It was creepy as hell, I'm telling you. I can't make this shit up. It was crazy. Okay. I know it keep buffering. I don't know why I keep doing it. I think they're put it like that. I think they're manipulating my numbers. And when they try to manipulate my numbers, it goes in and out. So just stay with me here. Okay, and then China emphasized the mutual respect and warned the U.S. about Taiwan. Man, Trump, I mean, you gotta understand. Xi Jinping do not like how the Americans been helping Taiwan. He don't like it. He's trying to take over Taiwan. I mean, he doesn't like how they've been helping Taiwan. He's been made that blatantly clear for years that he didn't like that. So he figured if he can woo dumbass Trump to stop helping them, the Americans stop helping them, then he can go ahead and move over. See, Xi Jinping is thinking like a normal ruler. Okay, they have an incompetent freaking person in the White House right now. Maybe I can woo myself and arise my stature to that in the world. And he's doing it. He's increasing his power right now by taking advantage of Trump's stupidity. Headline that China opposes any U.S. support for independence. He's been talking about this crap for years. He said the same thing to Biden, said the same thing to Obama. He always done it. They ignored him like, okay, me supporting him, Taiwan has nothing to do with our business relationship. What you want me to do? Stop fucking with Taiwan because you don't like them? Now, we're talking about Trump here. Trump would do that. He would literally stop messing with Taiwan because Xi Jinping told him to, and he looks up to Xi Jinping. I mean, the man gay for real. Okay, then Trump pushed China on the fentanyl trade. Okay, because it's really important to him. He smokes that stuff sometimes. So he raised concerns about synthetic opioid production. He don't want these synthetic opioid. He wants the real opioid. I mean, it's what they use, him and his little Epstein pedo buddies. Okay, so he's like, no, we need to work on that. Not trying to get rid of it. He want to work on it so it can be authentic for him and his little people. And then he talk about the trade imbalances, the intellectual property issues, and he talking about the stupid nuclear weapon. They've been talking about what 20, 30, freaking 40 years. Iran is not in threat of trying to bomb anyone with no nuclear weapon. He needs to stop using that excuse. That is such a lame ass excuse. There's no nuclear weapon that they're threatening, trying to blow up the goddamn world. They're just using that as an excuse to solidify and validate them bombing innocent fucking people. Okay. So here's what I want you guys to understand. So when you look at this video, do understand that Xi Jinping mocked Trump in his intro, saying that he don't like the direction America's going. That's what he actually said, because I saw it on live TV. He didn't like that. And then he warned him about his support in Taiwan. Like, maybe you shouldn't mess with that. Now, I don't believe he was brave enough to say that to Biden or Obama or anything, but he's brave enough to say with dumbass Trump. Okay. So he definitely doing that, trying to manipulate. Like if I get the Americans stop helping Taiwan, you heard what I said earlier, he can move in and do his dominancy because he's trying to increase his power in the world. Because right now he feels like it's an open window to do that before the midterms come. Okay, so remember, Xi is meeting with Trump for business about what are you doing around Iran, mocking him with his pedophilia, among other things. This was Xi doing. Okay, he was there not listening. And if you saw him live, he was talking about their surroundings, how beautiful it is, how beautiful the kids was, and food, trying to get Chinese food. He thinks he's on a fucking tour. He's like, did you do this tour with Biden and Obama? You know, he's obsessed with the whole comparison and the whole one-sided competition. So he's talking about that, and she's like, no, I'm trying to do A, B, and C, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, trying to appease his stupidity because you have to dumb yourself down to even get Trump to understand listening. He's not taking control of the room like a commander of the United States, demanding his fucking presence like I demand respect. Let's get down to business. No, he's in there looking like a dumbass tour and a weak fucking leader. But you know what? So with that, we saw on live television that I guess escapes Trump. He gets on the interview and lie and says the complete opposite on what actually happened. Keep that in mind in these next clips.
Were asked when you were leaving.
What extent are American financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about American financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
That's right. That's a perfect statement.
So,
I'd make it again.
You can
Because
imagine how many people stop the soundbite at, I don't think about America's
played that
financial
up.
situation. So what's your response to that
It's
framework?
very simple. When people hear me say it, everybody agrees. Short-term pain, it's going to be short-term pain. But the pain is much less than people thought. Because people thought that the oil would go up to $250. You know, it was $99 yesterday, $99 a barrel. I thought it might go up to 200. I was okay with that. Not that I wanted it, but you cannot let them have a nuclear weapon. They would. We don't need it at all.
We don't need it at all.
We don't need it at all.
Fair enough. So,
I mean, you could make the case, you know, like, why are we even? We're doing it to help Israel and to help Saudi Arabia and to help Qatar and UAE and, you know, Kuwait and other countries, Bahrain.
it also helps China.
And we're actually, I told them today, I said, you know, we're helping you. And we're helping you in another way because I don't think China wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon either. I said, they're stone cold crazy. You don't need them having a nuclear weapon either.
What did he say? What did he say?
Well, he's not going to respond too much. He's a pretty cool guy. He's not going to say, oh, gee, that's a good point.
I think he
might. What's he going to do?
Well,
say,
I mean,
what a wonderful point.
You think he agreed?
Yeah, I think
that was the impression.
I don't think he wants them to have. No, he would like to see it end. But he's been good about it, you know.
So why are we where we are? Did you underestimate the pain tolerance that Iran has?
I didn't underestimate anything. We hit them unbelievable.
This sound is going in and out. It's not my video. It's literally the video they got recorded. This is the video on here, not my sound.
Unbelievably hard. Look, we left their bridges. We left their electricity capacity. We can knock that all out in 2 days. 2 days, everything. We left Cargill, and other than, I said, hit it except for the valves where the oil comes out. Because when you hit that, that means you're going to lose a little oil. But one thing is happening, amazingly. Ships are floating up to Texas and Louisiana, and they're going to Alaska, and they're loading up with oil like we've never seen before.
Americans want to know when it's over, though, right?
Yeah, look, Vietnam lasted 19 years. Iraq was like 10 years. Korea was 7 years. Another one was 14 years. Another one was 12 years. Another one was 9 years. We're in there for 2.5 months. The other thing they talk about, so we lost tens of thousands of soldiers in Vietnam. We lost tens of thousands of soldiers in practically every war. I've lost, and I wish we'd lost none, because I know those parents. I spoke to them. We lost 13 soldiers in 2 wars.
Oh, you and me both. But I explained this in one of my live shows, and I explained it in the Rothschild video I did. He helped Israel because he had a connection with the Rothschild, and a Rothschild banker is literally on his political party, his little cabinet team. So he owed them a favor among every other thing they may have done for each other, because the banker of Rothschild bailed him out of his casino debt that went under when he had a casino, bailed him out, helped him out in that situation. And amongst the other pedophilia, you do know Israel trying to literally capture all the kids in Israel and put them in one big damn building. They're trying to build a school or some kind of detention camp with nothing but enslaved kids. That's what Israel is doing. Yeah, something that the media don't want you to know. So if you want to know why Trump is helping them, because they all run together. Birds of a feather flock together. That's what Israel is down with. Yeah, I can go real dark in that. And trust me, I have plenty of information and receipts. Okay, now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, I want you guys to look at this right here. That trip that he had, just look at this. Take a look at this.
Donald Trump looked absolutely terrible as he was leaving Beijing, physically deteriorating, struggling to walk up the steps on Air Force One. He is returning to the United States from an utterly failed trip. He is returning with nothing, or perhaps I should say with rose seeds. Yep, Xi Jinping's departing gift for Donald Trump as the ultimate jab was to give Donald Trump rose seeds, nothing else, knowing that there would be no place to plant the rose seeds because Donald Trump and Melania tore up the rose garden at the White House, which Xi Jinping knows how beautiful that rose garden was, because unlike Donald Trump, who he made Trump visit him in Beijing, Xi Jinping's trips to the United States was to visit former President Obama when he was in the White House and former President Biden when Biden was in the White House. Xi Jinping went to DC first to meet with them. So let's talk about how this disastrous trip ended. Donald Trump bringing back nothing but shame, ridicule, embarrassment, humiliation. So before Donald Trump left, he was walking around with Xi Jinping outside in the kind of residence area for Xi Jinping. And then Donald Trump said, nice place. I could get used to this. Oh, very nice tree. Look at the nice tree. He's so awkward. He's so weird. And it looks like he's like physically attracted to Xi Jinping. I can get used to living here. What are you talking about? Here, play this clip.
So they live 150 年. It's pretty old. It's getting pretty old for sure. Nice place. Nice place. I like it. I like it. I could get used to this.
And then it gets even weirder before Donald Trump leaves. He turns to Xi Jinping and he says to the interpreter, can you please ask the president, does he let other prime ministers and presidents out here, or am I the only one who gets to see these trees? What? Here, play this clip.
Here's the thing. Other presidents and prime ministers, does he agree with me?
在其他的国家来的元首啊、总统啊，或者是总理什么的，您作为国家主席，也都会到这边来接待他们吗？很少。
这个地方我们首先以前外事沟通不在。
All right, so after that weirdness happens, Donald Trump sitting with Xi Jinping.
I told you. Didn't I tell you? And yes, exactly. Because you remember, Israel has been trying to get America to help them trying to take over Iran for the longest. But Biden just, gave random excuses. Obama, please. And other presidents before it was like, no. But you have Elon Musk bring the election, get him in office, which I'm sure he's regretting at this moment, no matter how racist he is. Okay. But remember, Trump know that Elon Musk helped him rig the election. So he tried to keep Elon Musk part of the party, even though he's technically not part of the party, just to keep him happy. Because, you know, if anyone who can oust Trump will be Elon Musk. All you got to do is get a hold to his computer drive and records, okay, or get him in front of Congress and question the fuck out of him under oath. And I guarantee you Elon Musk will crack. At the end of the day, Elon Musk is just a man. He's not a god. He's just a man, okay? And I'm sure he'll fucking crack. I guarantee you this SOB will crack, okay? Now, with that in mind, with the stupa, let's give you a nice, I need a visual here. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. Now, remember, we talked about the redistricting. We talked about what Trump trying to do. We talked about what Xi Jinping trying to do in this vulnerable state that America in at the moment. He's doing like any other damn ruler. I can come up on my seniority and my power and dominance in the world by taking over, trying to take over U.S. or get them to do what I want. Because Trump is just like a fucking incompetent child at the end of the goddamn day. You know, woo him, and then I could just get some things done, Okay, a conniving ass leader would do that. You can't blame him for doing his job. Okay, that's what the fuck he does. That's how he got in power. Do your thing, but just leave us alone. Okay, let us get him out of the White House. But, you know, I can't even hate him on that. But still. So with that in mind, and with the Trump and his little cheating ass MAGA people trying to redistrict and doing a gerrymandering, trying to get hold of the House and the Senate so they can get rid of the Constitution, because it's 3 and 5, they can literally annihilate and get rid of the Constitution. And then they really thinking they're going to go somewhere, which they're not going to do. They're not going to do. It's going to go down in so many flames, it's going to be ridiculous. The Republican Party is going to find out what a true dark monster Trump is. I guarantee you, and it's going to be really, really bad, but beautiful for a lot of people who's been standing for fucking years. Okay, so here's what I got to say, my truth seekers, okay? And I hope you guys are ready, because we're going to be, this live show is going to be about 2 hours. Get comfortable. But I'm going to entertain you from top to bottom, from start to finish. You're not going to be bored. So think about this, truth seekers. Now we're stepping into a quiet room where global power whispers, okay? Understand that, okay? Matter of fact, I need a visual. I need a visual. Because that's what we're literally doing. Donald Trump and China President Xi Jinping held talks. And while the headlines say no breakthrough, the subtext says something deeper. Like something happened. Now, these weren't victory laps, negotiations. These two are superpowers circling each other. Xi Jinping actually have degrees. He's been studying this for his entire life. He's not an idiot. I mean, the technology in China is where we need to be. But we can't be there because we have dumbass MFs trying to take us back 50, 60 fucking years. They have to go. Okay? Now, so you got these two superpowers circling each other, testing tone, testing temperature, and trying not to tip the world into crisis. Well, Xi Jinping isn't. Trump, he don't give a shit. He's just trying to do anything to exhale and feed his vanity. And then you had China warned the U.S. again about Taiwan because, you know, they want to take over Taiwan.
Worse off than we have ever been.
Sorry about that. Okay. And Trump pressed on fentanyl and trade. And then both sides walk away saying the same thing. We talked, Trump said this. We talked, we didn't solve it. Actually, you know, Xi Jinping said that we talked, we didn't solve it because Trump wasn't trying to do business. He was just there, just trying to get a tour and be in front of the camera and make this whole thing is feed his vanity into one big ass reality TV show. Literally. Okay. Now you understand Trump is constantly lying about what Xi Jinping actually said, because Xi Jinping was playing on Trump ignorance and slowly gaining the upper hand with the rest of the nation, because that's what he wants, global dominance. Can't blame him for that. Trump handling America to Xi on a fucking golden platter because he's obsessed with gold. Like, here, you promised me these young kids and other stuff. Sure, you can have them. I don't give a fuck about America. You don't give a damn about American citizens. Actually, he said they don't care about American citizens. That's literally what he said out of his own goddamn mouth. You want to know if you care about Americans? He don't care about Americans. You only care about feeding his vanity. So, but in geopolitics, sometimes the most important thing is not what changes, it's what It's what doesn't explode. Okay. And that's what Trump would never understand because he's an idiot. So here's what we need to understand here. Iran and everywhere else around the world are delivering and pretty much putting on X Trump and his whole fleet of young girls. Trump is one of the biggest pedophiles in history. Next to Jeffrey Epstein, they are monsters. So when Trump was talking to Marjorie about he's afraid that people is going to get hurt, he's afraid that he's going to get hurt and he's going to have to hurt people. He's afraid that people who looked up to him and think that people are picking on him about the sexual molestation and pedophile and rapist and killing and everything else is just a sick rumor. He's afraid that his whole image is going to be crumbled, which it is, by the way. Nostradamus predicted that. But listen, he's afraid that these girls that they collected over the decade are going to be ousted, which they are. And a lot of them are AI. Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were sick. He used to do something to these girls. You know what he did when he's done with them? He kills them, throw them in the ocean, throw them in a lake, or just kill them. And Trump is bisexual. He is bisexual. He do like men. He like little boys and girls. Not just little girls. He like boys too. That's a fact. Why do you think he wear diapers? Because he wanted a kid to stick a thing in his anal area, and the kid literally backfired and stick a pole in it and shoved it all the way up into his little anal area and kind of knocked some things out. So it waited him to wear diapers for the rest of his life. And that's a fact. That's a fact. That's why he wear diapers. Trump is bisexual. He is gay. Well, he's not. He's bisexual. Okay. These little girls were lined up and auctioned off to the highest bidder. Okay. And Trump was one of the bidders, along with other members of the Congress and Senate. Keep that shit in mind. So, Elon Musk, on the other hand, who's getting wooed because he helped to rig the election and he can annihilate and kill the entire Republican Party in this election if he want to, and probably come out unjailed. But Elon Musk is not the brightest cat in the world, okay? He's still trying to be a part of this pedophilia club. He needs to pick a damn lane. So Elon Musk data centers facing lawsuit for polluting Black neighborhoods in Memphis. Here's what it says. Our children have the highest rate of ER visits for respiratory illnesses and issues in the state of Tennessee, and it's an ongoing situation is getting worse. Listen to this.
XAI continues to pollute worse off than we have ever been. XAI continues to pollute at a level even higher than our Memphis International Airport. This has been terrible for our region, and it's terrible for our future because our community is going to continue to suffer. Our children have the highest rate of ER visits for respiratory illnesses and issues in the state of Tennessee, and it's only going to continue to get worse.
The city of Memphis, Tennessee. Last week, the NAACP sued Elon Musk's XAI, accusing the artificial intelligence company of polluting Black neighborhoods with toxic emissions from its makeshift power plant fueling its data centers in Memphis. The lawsuit alleges XAI is violating the Clean Air Act by operating over 24 methane gas-burning turbines without legal permits.
These turbines generate enough power to power over 500,000 homes. This is unprecedented, the amount of pollution that we're being exposed to, nitrogen dioxide, formaldehyde, chemicals that we know cause cancer. What Elon Musk said is basically smoke and mirrors, because what we know is that Southwest Memphis continues to be targeted. Memphis Community Against Pollution has stood up against multiple corporations and billion-dollar organizations who've sought to see our community as the path of least resistance, where they could push forward these environmentally unjust and these environmentally racist projects. These projects specifically focus on a neighborhood, on a community, and on a region where you see an increased poverty level, and you also see an increased amount of Black families. Just like all over the South, you see a concentration of AI data centers in communities that are largely Black or marginalized. This is nothing new. This is Elon Musk presenting an option for Memphis, which we know is untrue. Elon Musk was invited to Memphis. Unfortunately, our city mayor joined with Ted Townsend of our Greater Memphis Chamber, and these folks wooed the terrible decision that we continue to see operate like a cancer in our region. XAI has not promoted or really led to the jobs that they said they would. They have not been in communication with the community in any significant way. But what they have done is continue to pollute our air, to do it unlawfully and illegally, and not include even our government officials. We are in a place now where we are literally worse off than we have ever.
Yep, and Elon Musk don't care. He doesn't care. He don't care about himself. He don't even care about his kids. He literally don't. He's a really self-indulgent, arrogant, narcissistic, conceited ass man, girl. And the more money he makes, the more crazier he gets. Seriously, it's really sad. Really, really sad. I thought he had some kind of human decency and he could stop America going to freaking a shithole. But at the end of the day, Elon only care about Elon. Point blank, freaking period. Yeah. So that's where it is. So the Supreme Court has rejected Republican-backed challenge to Virginia's congressional map. Now, what does it mean? Okay. It means Virginia will keep its current district lines for the 2026 election, at least for now. Now, the court declined to hear their appeal, leaving in place the lower court ruling that upheld the map because they are cheating again. They're not winning fair and square. They're cheating yet again because that's what they're good at doing. So the challenge argued that the map unfavorably favored Democrats. Republican plaintiffs claimed the map was drawn to benefit Democrats. That's what Republicans are saying. But the courts found no constitutional violation. So I guess we'll see. Okay, so the Supreme Court offered no explanation at all. As usual, with certification denied, the court simply declined to take the case. Now, this is a major contrast to Louisiana ruling, where Louisiana map was struck down for racial gerrymandering. Virginia map was allowed to stand. Now, this is somewhat a victory, and we got to hope that it stays a victory. Now, with that in mind, let me just tell you something a little bit here, okay? Okay. Now, here's what y'all need to understand here. See, the case was brought by the Republican voters. They argued the map diluted their voting power and violated equal protection, which means they were literally saying, look, you have to rule to us because, look, we are the truth. We are whatever you want. You just got to rule for us because we've been getting our way for the past 2,000 some odd years. If you're at the age of Aries, the last 4,000 years. And why change it now? Okay. That's what they're thinking. They're not trying to progress to the future with equality. We are living in harmony, going into the future with peaceful and bliss. We helping each other, going back to natural resources, helping each other, learning from each other, regardless of race. Happy. Crimes is just where crimes usually is, but not this. They're not trying to live in peace and harmony. They want to live in violence and chaos and bloody, disgusting, ridiculous mess. They want to keep us stagnant. They're not trying to progress to a future, a beautiful, technical, beautiful future that we can literally see. You see a glimpse of it in China and other parts of the world, but we're stuck in the fucking 50s and 60s and shit. Okay, so this is what they're trying. They try to go back. We're trying to go forward. A party has to go, and it's not the future party, okay? So lower court said the map was lawful. The three-judge panel ruled that the plaintiffs failed to show intentional discrimination, unconstitutional partition, and gerrymandering. But, I'm sure Trump and his homeboys try to do something, which they are not. The Supreme Court's refusal is the fight, no hearing, no oral argument. You understand, when you have Supreme Court people who have human decency and refuse to fall into the racist map like the other pussy ass fucking Supreme Court judges. They are stalked. Their houses are burnt down. They are threatened. And sometimes they get physically violated. This is how sick and violent the MAGA and their followers have gotten. They're not just saying, okay, we take it as a loss, move on to the next. No, they want to get violent. So judges are sometimes scared to go with their moral compass, morality. So if they do agree with Republicans, they're selling their soul and they're doing it for their family safety. Although they're putting the harm way with the entire nation for their family safety, which I think the balance does not balance correctly. But we're talking about judges here. Now, if I was a judge, I would do what's right, whether the scales are balanced or not. I would try to protect my family. If I got to hire more security guards, if we got to get homeschooled, I don't care. If I got to carry a gun on my hip every goddamn day, it'd have to be that way. But I'm not going to risk my own soul and sell my own soul just to please some racist motherfuckers. I'd rather die with my human decency and then die a lying ass, scary ass pussy. But, you know, we talking about judges here. So, Supreme Court refused it, but these judges didn't go against it. And I pray for their safety. I hope they're safe and peaceful and the Republicans don't stalk them and do what they do to any other judge that vote for the right way. Because other judges just cave in like some wimps. So the Supreme Court refuses to end the fight, no hearing or argument. Congratulations to them. So case is closed. Now, Virginia map stays in place for 2026. This is important because Virginia is politically competitive. We need that. Okay. The map affects several swing districts. Stability benefits, you know, incumbents. Benefits us, the people who want equality and peacefulness, not chaotic, racist mess. But again, no predictions about outcome or anything of the nature. So this is where I want to go back to. This is where the MAGA people want to go. They want it to be red and bloody as hell. Now, put in headlines here: pedophilia, rapists, rape camps, lynching. Yeah, let's do that. And cops beating the hell out of Black people, raping them, beating the hell out of them on public television. Yeah, put all that in, but throw, you know, all races in there, not just Black people. They're going to have little Caucasian girls, matter of fact, any girls in general, but mainly Caucasian girls, you know, taking them into underground camps and whatever buildings or whatever ICE can do and just go at them poor defenseless kids. So at pedophilia, rapists, lynching, racism, war, violence, just no peace at all. Just violence, violence, violence. A big fucking country of freaking hell. Put that in here too. That's what they wanted to go. They wanted to go back to 1960s, not 2050, where we're seeing more flying machines and AI generated stuff to help benefit us, not take our jobs away, but take us into the future, and other great ways to clean the air and to get us back into natural resources. No, they want blood, 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 pain, 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 blood, 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 pain, pain, pain. That's what the MAGA people want. They don't want peace. They want blood. Blood, 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 blood. Violence, 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 violence. Hell, 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 hell. No peace. Just fucking hell. That's what they want. Women, they want women to go back to being submissive. They want to take the voting right of women in general. They want women to have a fucking vote. They want to get rid of men having to stand law when they commit domestic violence. They want to get rid of domestic violence to give men a leeway to beat the fuck out their women without having to worry about going to jail. They want to get rid of the age requirement to marry someone. They want to get rid of it altogether. They want to marry 12 and 9-year-olds like they do overseas. This is what MAGA is trying to do. I don't think y'all know the deep darkness of this hole they're trying to build and they're trying to take us in. All part of Project 2025. Now, if a mother in general, regardless of race, have any instinct and want to protect their beautiful children, you might want to wake the fuck up because this is getting dark. If we can't vote, then you need to prove to them that we don't need to vote. You got our backs. Like we had your backs for thousands of fucking years. So, as I was freaking saying, this is what they want. So let's talk about this a little bit here. my thoughts and analysis here. This is the broken map. This is where the map is going to end up if we don't do something about it. But here's what I think. So this is literally where see, blah, 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 blah. See, this is what they want. Before, after. Huh? It's like the book of Revelation and series inspiration. That's literally where we are, bro. Straight up, right? So even though the Supreme Court made a loud decision without a word, they refused to hear the Republican challenge to Virginia's congressional map, and that silence speaks volumes. We need more Supreme Court pussy-ass fucking judges to do the same and keep their dick out of their heads and actually think, okay? Because, you know, some of these Supreme Court judges are, you know, huge customers of pedophilia, okay? Which is why they probably voted for Trump. Yeah, need to check their fucking phone records. Okay, so that speaks volumes. In a year when maps are being ripped up across the South, Virginia lines stay exactly where they are. No withdrawal, no delay, no chaos. So way for Virginia. Now, the plaintiff said the map favored Democrats, so they're probably going to start stalking, harassing the judges. They're probably burning the house down like they did that poor lady who had that historical house by the river. That was very sad. Oh, my gosh. I hope she did something about that. That was so sad. The house was in her, mansion was in her family for years, and they burnt it down because she decided to vote against Trump, and he burnt her house down. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, that was so sad. Oh, my gosh. Anyway, I hope she doesn't change lanes because of this. That's what they do. I mean, they scare these judges, man, especially the women. Anyway, so the plaintiff said the map favored Democrats. The lower court said the evidence wasn't there, and the Supreme Court said nothing. Now, but sometimes silence is the ruling, and tonight, where ruling means Virginia walks in 2026 with the same political map it had before, while other states are still scrambling to figure out where the lines even begin, because they are trying to take us back to a time that's no longer working anymore. People are not in their mind frame anymore. So this is the map that's going to end up if they don't do something. America is going to be a fucking shithole. We're not going to be the leading dominant country in the world anymore. We're going to be a sad fucking country, just fucking sad, and a mockery and a literally trend of crazy memes. That's where we're going to be. But apparently the Republican Party wants to go that way because apparently they have this vision saying this is just temporary and things are going to go back to whatever vision they claim is going to be. No. That's not where it's going to be. Get out of your la-la land. That's not where it's going to get. So this is the broken map that's currently right now, that we're currently in the midst of right now. However, here's my thought. Now, here's what this election party just isn't, you know, it's not, something isn't right for me. They want us to assume that most Americans are Republicans or racist. Like most Americans, like predominantly of America are Republicans. They want us to believe that most of America are Republicans. This is what they want us to believe. They want us to assume that most Americans are Republicans, okay? Well, it is not so. I mean, you think about it here. I think minority are racist, wealthy, and sadly in power to change, to enact change. I think most the racists are in power to change, like they in the government, you know, the Supreme Court, the Senate, and Congress, and things of that nature in the House. I think they are in positions of power, but I don't think majority of Americans are racist. Okay. I also think their counting puts racist Republicans in charge at the House and Senate. Like I said, it makes it, that's where the racists are, but they trying to make it seem like most America is racist when most America isn't racist. So they're doing this by getting rid of the Voting Rights Act and their gerrymandering and election cheating. But they figure if most Americans were racist and they weren't worrying about the votes, why they got to cheat to get the votes? If they are saying the majority are racist, why even go through all this trouble to try to cheat your way to win an election if you feel that most Americans agree with you, if you won the election fair and square because most Americans are racist? If they feel that is what the fact is, they won't have to resort to cheating then. See, that's where no one's thinking because they're so used to being brainwashed by the media. So they're trying to get rid of the Voting Rights Act and they're, you know, gerrymandering, election cheating and stealing elections like they did in 2024, assuming it will and will work out for them. Okay, but if you have to do that, then obviously you're not the majority. So I have to say this, but sorry, but if you look at the stats from the marches, the protests directly after Trump administration, after he won, it speaks volumes. And I have a feeling they are going to be tricked by their own people. They call their own people and party. These are new times. In the past, Blacks made the change. We put our bodies and our ancestors put our bodies and everything on the line to fight for equality for people who take it for granted. The Hispanics and the Asians and the Indians and the Italians who are extended Hispanics to take for granted on what our ancestors put their lives at stake to do. Now it's time for our Caucasian brothers and sisters to prove these racist SOBs and to protect your fucking kids from these pedophiles who want to take them all into detention camps and have their way with them. Having group rape on a fucking 3-year-old. This is what they want. This goes for the mothers and the fathers who care. It's time for you guys to stand for us right now because they're trying to silence us, and I don't know if we're gonna get it back. Not now. It's time for you. It's time for you to do it now. We did it for thousands of years, hundreds of years. You have to do it now. You have to prove them wrong. They're thinking by them doing this, all the Caucasian people will just fall in line like some sheep and submissive beings. Like the women want to give up their votes and submit to their husbands, and they want to put their kids in line to be raped and trafficked. Hell no. They don't know Americans. They don't know Americans. And I refuse to believe that my co-brothers and sisters, regardless of race, is going to, hell no. They want to drive down the street seeing black kids hung from fucking trees and pregnant women bellies being gutted out and a white man stomping on her baby. No, they don't want to see that shit. Who wants to see that? That's not cute. It's not fun. It's not entertainment either. No. If they think Caucasian people's going to fall in line like some submissive beings, they are in a whole different freaking world that they don't even know. I refuse to believe that is going to happen. I refuse to believe that my Caucasian people are that naive and that submissive. I refuse to freaking believe that. And I got a feeling they're going to be real fooled. They're going to think they're thinking by them trying to block black people is going to make them help them win. Ha! Watch. I doubt that very freaking much. Let's move on here. So this is why I say that. This is the broken map. And we do have our ancestors. We do have our guardians. They're watching the polls. They are around. They are around. They're going to be there to guide people to the right direction. Because our watchers, the good people who are counting for this transition, who are waking up at this moment, want the transition to happen so they can live free and show themselves and stop being hidden by the regime of the last age. And this is what power is going to rise. Independency, freedom. And the old people who are trying to keep the old regime will no longer be. This is the future. Different races, different people, live in equality. Of course, you have your criminals and things of that nature. That's in every freaking world, every goddamn country or continent. But we're going to move into the future. Let's move on here. Okay, now, still getting dark, and we're going to get light in a minute. Okay, there seems to have been an investigation found that Native American children with disabilities in Michigan school district were literally locked in this wooden box here. Yes, they were locked in wooden isolated boxes. They were taking disabled children and put them in boxes and having their way with them in Michigan. Native American children. Now, these are our melanated brothers and sisters. Okay, this is what they were doing in Michigan. Locking these poor children in boxes and having their way with them and shipping them up to their highest bidder. This is what the MAGA wants to continuously do without being found out or being reported. They want to keep this well hidden. They want this to continue going on. This is what they want. This is what the Mike Johnsons and all of it and Hegseth, what the fuck his name is. This is what he wants to continue supporting. Yeah, it has nothing to do with no damn nuclear weapon. There is no threat of no nuclear weapon. They've been hollering about the nuclear weapon for over 30 years. Anyway, so these were described as cell-like wooden structures, sometimes with no windows, where children were placed for behavior related to this disability. And they beat them and they rape them. Or they send them off to the highest bidder. Some children were kept there inside for hours, wallowing in their feces. their, yeah, yeah, that digestive system. This is what they were doing. Children were literally screaming from these boxes. Children were urinating on themselves. Children being left without supervision for hours, not even fed. And then when they're done with them, after they finish having their way with them, they either kill them, burn them, if no one will buy them. This is what the MAGA people want to keep hidden. But remember, this is the age of Aquarius, so what goes on in the dark will come to the light. The water carrier rinses off all the crap. Get rid of all the fog. That's what this age is doing. So this practice literally violated federal disability laws. Remember, Trump made fun of disabled people. He thinks they're just funny, even though he's a, never mind. Go ahead and let that ride anyway. So the U.S. Department of Education concluded the district violated the IDEA, which is Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. So the IDEA is literally, and what it means is Individuals with Disability Education Act. Now, Section 504 or Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act. Yeah, that's what they violated. So sweeping reforms are now being ordered now. They're trying to instill this rule, even though MAGA people want to keep it hidden. Now, the district must eliminate these fucking boxes. They're not animals. Retrain or fire or kill their staff, I say, put killing or two. Overhaul discipline policies and revamp it literally. Because during the past 1,000, 2,000 years, if you had a disabled, they send you to some freaking building overseas and treat you like animals because they don't understand why you weren't like them. This is what they did to people who were different. This is what they want to go back to. Yeah. We heard the stories. Okay. Monitor, this is what, the IDEA wants to go, they want to do. They want to do this. Monitor compliance with federal disability protections. Like protect these Native kids and disabled kids so they won't be treated like animals or just sick puppets for sick fuckers. Okay? So Native families say this echoes historical trauma. Because remember, they used to take the disabled kids. He heard the horrific stories. I mean, Mother Teresa held the whole entire camp with these children. She benefited and profited off these kinds of children. Made them embrace death because the Bible literally makes you embrace death. She was just doing what the Bible told her. So the report connects to boarding school abuses. Remember, boarding schools, when people used to send their kids to boarding school, they get abused, sexually molested, all kinds of stuff, and they come back worse than they was before they left. But, people used to pay these boarding schools thousands of dollars all the time. They force assimilation. They give them generational harm. And this is not just a policy story. This is actually a civil rights story. This has been going on for a long time. It's just that now, since we have social media, we're able to hear it a lot faster than reading about it in the newspaper if we still happen to read the newspaper. Okay, so the key details are here. The boxes were used specifically on Native children with disability. Now, this raises questions about racial targeting, disability discrimination, cultural bias, and discipline. So parents were not informed that their kid, they thought their kid, and this happened, remember, this used to happen back in the early 1900s, in the late 1800s. Remember, they used to send their kids off to these little camps. Parents were not informed about what they were doing to these kids. Many families had no idea their children were being abused and neglected in this way. They thought they was getting beautiful education. Federal investigators called the conditions dangerous and discriminatory. Like, why are you doing this to Native kids with disability? Why not other kids? They did it to other kids, but they primarily did it to our melanated brothers and sisters. Now, this is strong language for official findings. Now, the district must now submit to federal oversight. This includes, but here's the thing. If you don't reform the Supreme Court justice and the legal department altogether, especially the ones in the high positions, nothing will happen to these kids because they benefit from these kids too. They're probably one of the biggest customers who goes there and have a good old freaking violent time with these kids. Okay. So this includes, we need new training, we need new reporting system, new behavior support plans, elimination of seclusion practices. Now, tribal leaders of these Native children are demanding accountability. Modern day segregation has to stop. The continuation of boarding school trauma has to stop. This needs to be brought to the light. Something has been black shelved for so many goddamn years, needs to be brought to the light. No one's talking about it. So tonight, Truth Seekers, we're stepping into a story that shakes the bones of history. And Michigan Native children with disabilities were locked in wooden boxes like animals. Yes, in 2026, this was happening. And the federal government has now confirmed it. Now, these weren't timeouts. These weren't cell-like structures. They were fucking kids who was crying and screaming and were left alone for hours. And when you hear Native families say this feels like boarding schools all over again, you might want to think twice, like, what the hell were they really doing to these kids in boarding schools if they're comparing it to kids being locked in boxes? Yeah, so you understand this isn't a violation of law. It's a violation of memory. The Department of Education says sweeping reforms are coming, but the question we asked tonight is the one America keeps avoiding. Why does this keep happening to Native children and melanated children? What does children in general, not just Native kids, and what does justice look like when the harm echoes across generations? What does it look like? I'm not done yet with the Age of Aquarius bringing light to a lot of dark shit. I'm just getting fucking started. Now, Disney cruise workers busted in a child porn sting. Now, I talked about this years ago, how Disney was literally just a huge playground for a trafficking ring. You know, I even brought it to life to some other celebrities, but they're dumb and stupid naive. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Definitely. So the federal authorities conducted a child pornography sting operation that resulted in the arrest of multiple Disney Cruise Line employees. So, yeah, these employees is running around these little cartoon characters, Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny. They were pedos and traffickers. So key points for the report is several crew members are arrested on child porn charges because they were just, yeah. They were taken off ships by federal agents doing port stops because they some sick fucks. The workers were then transferred to ICE custody because many were foreign nationals. They were processed for deportation after arrest. Yeah, I mean, some of them weren't Americans. A lot of them were from Russia. A lot of them from Germany. A lot of them were from goodness, let me think. The UK. Everywhere. So because many were foreign nationals, they were processed before deportation after arrest. Now, this sting was part of a larger federal operation. Now, this sting and this okay, so that's what was happening. Okay. Now, this was in line before any other so-called, law was in position. Oh, yeah. More. This is the Age of Aquarius. Yeah, we're going to see more of this. It's going to, the biggest, but I'm saying, and it's going to shock the hell out, is Trump being ousted. That's going to go down in history. Yeah. Okay, so now the sting was part of a larger federal operation. Authorities were targeting individuals trading or possessing child sexual abuse material. So they was filming kids in very pornography and disgusting way because that's what they are. Disney Cruise Line issued a statement. They said they were cooperating fully with investigators and have zero tolerance for such crimes, but they let it go on for how many fucking years since the thing got started? That's why he built this entire freaking amusement park, so to speak, just to cover up this. Okay? No allegations were made involving passengers or children on the ship. Now, the charges related to digital possession, not onboarding incidents, but the opposites were severe. You got to understand, Jeffrey Epstein liked Disneyland. He loved it. That was one of his biggest stomping grounds. Oh, yes, that's a fact. Yes. Oh, yes. Okay, now, the hantavirus. Okay, let's talk about the hantavirus. Now, I'm assuming I'm saying the hantavirus is a real, well-documented virus carried primarily by rodents, especially deer, mice in the U.S. Because we're gonna cover up some real facts because people are just taking this whole hantavirus and taking it to a whole new goddamn subject. Okay, all right. So, but it's primarily by rodents and mice and things of that nature. Now, the transmission fact is pay attention here. It spreads through, again, rodent dropping, urine, saliva, and nesting materials. Infection usually happens when contaminated dust becomes airborne. It does not spread to person in the U.S. It causes hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. I can't even speak, I'm sorry. Pulmonary syndrome, which is HPS. It's rare, but it is serious. But it is rare. It's rare. Key historical outbreaks happened in 1993. 4 corner outbreaks happened in Arizona, New Mexico, and Colorado and Utah, linked to increased rodents population after heavy rains. It was 36 deaths, but not a global threat. It never turned into a global threat. It was high to 30 to 40%, but cases are extremely rare, which means just sanitizing and cleaning your area and checking your area, checking your food and things of that nature. But yeah, ships are known for having a bunch of rats and stuff. And you heard it on the Titanic, if you ever watched that. Yeah, they were known for having that. I don't know how that's possible. I'm still trying to figure out how rats can live on ships that long, but it is what it is. But yeah, so it's primarily carried through that, okay? Now here are the rumors. The rumors are, okay, what the internet claims. These are the narratives that circulate online, especially in conspiracy spaces. Hantavirus is the next pandemic. It's not. It's a lab-made virus. It's not. It's being released intentionally. It's not. It's an airborne like COVID. COVID was not airborne, but that's a whole nother theory and a whole nother conspiracy theory. It's a government distraction. Yeah, it is. It's connected to the bioweapons programs. No, it's not. These rumors are spiked every time a single case is reported because people are still traumatized from COVID and primed to fear the next outbreak. Oh, yeah, definitely be careful. Definitely. Why the rumors spread? Well, the psychology says this: a pandemic trauma, people are hypersensitive to any disease headline consistent COVID. Pattern-seeking behavior, humans, they just look for meaning in chaos. Let me go back here. Hold on. First, take a look at this and then we'll talk, okay? I want you guys to look at this video and then we'll talk, okay? Okay.
I discovered something really weird with this Hantavirus cruise ship, and I need your guys' help to figure it out. Because no one else is really talking about this, and I don't even really know what it means, but there's something really bizarre, and it has to do with the number of people on the cruise ship. Can someone please explain to me the significance of 147, the number? Because I see that number repeated throughout all sorts of media that seems to signify something. What are they trying to tell us here? Ignoring the fact that this ship set sail the same day as Artemis II launched, and I think that there's actually discrepancies on that information as well. And then you have 3 people dead, and 3 seems to be a common number as well. We see 33, but if you add 1 plus 4 plus 7, that's 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So the root number of 147 is 3. 3 is a very popular number with the occult. And I know you think I'm reaching, but wait. Because this is a particular cruise ship meant to sail around the Antarctic. And when I went to search that number, because I know I'd seen it before, I found a lot of different articles. One of them being about the Atlas of Southern Ocean Life and how 147 scientists gathered data on the Antarctic waters. Here's the article where it references 147 scientists from 22 countries who, over the past 4 years, cataloged more than 9,000 Antarctic marine species. So they're studying life around Antarctica, right? Then you've got this surveillance system set up in the Amazon for tracking wildlife. And of course, there were 147 scientists that worked on that project. And then you got another study in Western Australia's oceans, where again, we're discovering new species of wildlife in the oceans. And 147 scientists happened to work on that project. And these are all independent. They have nothing to do with one another. But that's just when I searched 147 scientists. When I searched 147 something else, I got more results. Oh, I forgot to include one here. There was 147 professionals that worked on some dietary fiber research. And I guess this particular study is responsible for why we see the details about fiber on the sides of our food now. Oh, another scientist one. I forgot this one. 147 scientists from 27 countries worked on antibiotic resistance and the misuse of antibiotics. Shoot, another one. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that I found all of these 147 scientist studies, and this one is about curing Alzheimer's. There were 2 stacked news stories in Nigeria, one about 147 people dying from a tanker explosion, and then 147 people killed this year in Nigeria during Holy Week. I don't know. I'm not sure what to conclude from this. You guys help me figure this out. But ultimately, all I can say is that it's really strange to me that we've got 147 passengers, 3 dead on this cruise ship, an Antarctic cruise ship, that we had a bunch of scientists from different studies looking at marine wildlife from the Antarctic Ocean. And maybe I'm connecting dots that I shouldn't be connecting, either because it puts my life at risk or because I'm losing my mind. But I just find it strange. Man, I bet all those passengers are feeling like fools getting on that boat on the 1st of April. I discovered a system set up.
Do any of you know the significance of 147? Put in the comment section if you do.
Cut the cat. I did some digging, y'all. Check this out. What does Hanta mean? Similar to the Hebrew slang term, Hanta is used in colloquial Hungarian as slang for bullshit, nonsense, or a lie. It is frequently used to describe a made-up excuse or a tall tale. Okay, what's another meaning for Hanta? In modern colloquial Hebrew, the slang word Hanta translates to scam, lie, or nonsense. Usage. People use it to dismiss a ridiculous story, a hoax, or state that a claim is full of crap. Really? Okay, how does it spread? Hantavirus cannot be transmitted from person to person in the U.S., nor can it be caught from pets or livestock. An exception is the Andes virus strain found mostly in South America, which has rare instances of human-to-human transmission. Wait, so you mean to tell me Hantavirus can't be spread from person to person? I need my medical people to make this make sense. Cut the cat.
I told you.
There are only 2 possible causes for the cruise ship hantavirus outbreak. One is common, but the other is terrifying. Okay, let me give you some substance. There were 150 people on this cruise, and it all starts in Argentina. They leave Argentina April 11th. The first person passes away on the ship. They said it was a respiratory infection. He passed away. Then on April 24th, the body of that person was disembarked at St. Helena. But then on April 26th in South Africa, a second person passes away after leaving the ship at the airport. May 2nd, a third person passes away. May 3rd, they're parked in Cape Verde. That ship's going nowhere. So here's why people are extremely worried. So the hantavirus affects you through infected rodents. And it's not contagious. They didn't find any rodents on the ship. Not a single one. Enter the Andes virus. The Antivirus is a subclade of the hantavirus, and it is the only hantavirus that can be spread from person to person. Super spreader. Causes hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, a severe respiratory illness with a high fatality rate. They all had respiratory illnesses. Now remember I said they started in Argentina? That's where the virus comes from. It derives from the Andes Mountains. So the way this virus works is it doesn't activate for 1 to 2 weeks. Kind of like this timeline. Now, this virus is spread through droplets and from coughing, sneezing, touching things. And like I said in South Africa on April 26th, that lady passed away in the airport. A lot of people in an airport. So now the WHO is going to evacuate everyone slowly because there's still 5 people that are sick. and then take the boat to Spain to inspect it. This is a nightmare. This could be quite the event. Not gonna lie, I'm concerned.
It's not spread from that, but you know, he basically saying just be careful and inspect your food. You know what those mice and whatever drop. Just inspect your food, but it can't be carried to person to person just through roads and stuff. Okay. Would you say there's a guy named Zachary Hubbard that does Geometra on YouTube? He could explain all those numbers. Oh, I know. And I normally do numbers, but I'm not that deep into numbers either. I was going to look it up, but if you guys can figure it out, I mean, please let me know. Well, not really. No. Okay. Here are more videos. I told you we have a long show. Get comfortable. I'm going to entertain you. You guys are going to learn a lot of stuff. Get comfortable wherever you at. Just get comfortable. Okay, if your kids want to watch it, they can watch it. I'm gonna be cursing a little bit. Just to let you know. Now, the stories I have from here on in, it's not really, it's not. Well, I'm not talking about pedos anymore. I mean, just bring that out. I'm not talking about that anymore. So, if you want to bring your kids in here, I hope they're okay with me cursing sometime. But I'm not gonna be talking about pedos or anything. That was earlier in the show. I'm just gonna talk about this. And then we want to celeb gossip, okay? Okay.
Well, looky here. I'm pretty sure everybody saw this video.
Just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people with families, with lives, with people waiting for us.
Do you know what else the same guy did a few years ago? I didn't find it. I found it for you, but somebody else actually went down the rabbit hole and found this clip.
Just gorgeous girls get vaccinated. Gorgeous vaccinated girls get boosted. And gorgeous boosted girls get boosted again.
Coincidence? And the same guy that was promoting the COVID vaccines and the boosters and everything is the same guy on the cruise ship crying about Hantavirus. Coincidence? What do you think? I think it's
Yo, this is the only person we've heard from on that ship, and then they just deleted his video.
Yo, what is this? I wouldn't make a video like this, but I feel like I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down.
So it's scripted.
I'm currently on board the MV Hondius, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here.
The teleprompter?
We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people.
That sounds sus.
People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home.
What is this?
There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part.
Is this real?
All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity.
Where's everybody else?
And to get home. So if you're seeing coverage about this, just remember that there are real people behind it.
Why'd they delete this?
And that this isn't something happening somewhere far away.
I mean, it
it's
is.
happening to us right now. I'll share more when I can.
Where are the other videos? Why can't you?
Ask for your kindness.
Why can't you share it?
I like her. She's funny.
There were 150. There are only two possible causes for the cruise ship hantavirus outbreak. One is common, but the other is terrifying. Okay, let me give you some substance. There were 150 people on this cruise, and it all starts in Argentina. They leave Argentina April 11th. The first person passes away on the ship. They said it was a respiratory infection. He passed away. Then on April 24th, the body of that person was disembarked at St. Helena. But then on April 26th in South Africa, a second person passes away after leaving the ship at the airport.
May 2nd, a third person passes away. May 3rd, they're parked in Cape Verde. That ship's going nowhere. So here's why people are extremely worried. So the hantavirus affects you through infected rodents. And it's not contagious. They didn't find any rodents on the ship. Not a single one. Enter the Andes virus. The Antivirus is a subclade of the hantavirus, and it is the only hantavirus that can be spread from person to person. Super spreader. Causes hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, a severe respiratory illness with a high fatality rate. They all had respiratory illnesses. Now remember, there are only two possible causes for the cruise ship hantavirus outbreak. One is common, but the other.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Yo, this is the only person here.
Good morning, everybody. This is my sad duty to inform you that one of our passengers sadly passed away last night. Tragic as it is, it was due to natural causes, we believe.
I didn't see anyone showing any symptoms, but one person unfortunately passed away on 12th of April, and the wife of that person also passed away right after we disembarked in St. Helena. We had actually a lot of relationships with other passengers, so I have contact, and now they are being very good isolation, and they are now applying the necessary cautions. They're not, in my view, are not scared of the virus itself, but they're just confused about the following days.
So just to sum it up, just watch what you do. You don't have to wear the, I mean, I can understand the mask is disgusting. Just wash your hands, and if you are out in the open, just make sure you don't touch your face. And before you touch your face or anything, sanitize your hands. Before you touch anything that's going into your mouth, sanitize or wash your hands. And expect your food. That's all you have to do. You should be doing that anyway to protect yourself from cold. That's all you have to do. But just know it can't be spread from human to human. It just comes from rodents and saliva and disgusting stuff like that. That's all it is. It's not COVID. You can't die from it. You just get really, really sick. Okay. Just want to point that out so you guys can be okay and don't be getting all scared. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Good morning.
Okay, so the rumors. These are the narratives that circulate online, especially in conspiracy spaces. Hantavirus, they say it's the next pandemic, it's a lab-made virus. It's not. Now, here's the psychology. People are doing this because of pandemic trauma. That people are hypersensitive to any disease headline. Like, oh my gosh, it's COVID. No, it's not. So it's a pattern-seeking behavior. Humans look for meaning in chaos, especially after global crisis like COVID. Government mistrust. You can't trust the fucking government. When institutions lost credibility, people fill the gaps with speculation. Okay. And then there's okay. So here's the mystery behind it. The real endings feel more dramatic and cinematic, which means it's all theatrical. Most of it made up and just over dramatized. Okay. One case becomes breaking new deadly virus. Like, oh my, breaking new deadly virus. Everybody trying to get hit. So it's a social media amplification. Okay. But it's just all embellished. Okay. Chill out. Now here's this conspiracy. Because after I'm telling you guys are going to be okay after this. You don't stop tripping. Here's the conspiracy one. Hantavirus is engineered. In reality, hantavirus have been documented in wild rodents for decades, like Egyptian times, okay? Centuries. Their genetic signatures show natural evolution, not lab manipulation. It's just nasty. Okay. That's all it is. Here's the conspiracy too. Hantavirus is not spread person to person in the US. It requires rodent exposure. Like your house is nasty, you're not cleaning it up, you got rats running around, shitting on shit, kids picking up stuff off the floor and ground, eating it, disgusting. Excuse me. So if this happened in this darn ship, they need to hire their housekeeping staff because their housekeeping staff wasn't cleaning anything. Okay, they was just letting rats shit on food. It was just nasty. Okay, it's nasty. Conspiracy 3, it's being released intentionally. Reality cases correlate with rodent population booms, climate patterns, rural exposure, not coordinate release. Which is why you see it on the back of Lysol bottles saying it kills it, because you spray Lysol on it, it will kill the hantavirus of any germs that's in it. That's why you see it on the back of Lysol bottles and disinfectant sprays and stuff like that. Okay. Conspiracy 4 is the next global pandemic. In reality, hantavirus outbreaks are rare, localized, like it's generally just a small area, like the ships and stuff, not a global thing, because it's impossible to be a global thing unless everybody fucking nasty. It's not like that. Environmentally driven, like I stated, not sustained human-to-human transmission. It's not, you have it, that's not what it is. Okay? That's how it is. Pandemics require efficient human spread, which antivirus do not have. You can kill it with vitamin C or cleaning your goddamn house. Shit. Just to sum it up. Okay. The truth, the real story behind the fear. Hantavirus is a conspiracy, it's a mirror. It reflects our fear of the unknown, the trauma from the last pandemic, and our mistrust of the system like the government meant to protect us, which they are not. The real story is about climate change, increasing rodent population. Because remember, we have a man in the house who got rid of most of the high scientists in the CDC. He got rid of a lot of scientists within NASA that was looking for any international threats. He got rid of them as boys. I don't believe in space. He got rid of the environmental clause for Clean Air Energy Act. He got rid of that as well. So if you're in most of the high intelligent, experienced people in the airline, and pretty much anyone experienced, he got rid of all of that shit. So if anything is getting nasty, blame it on current presidency and Elon Musk for rigging the election. Okay. So the real story is about climate change, increasing rodent population, rural poverty and housing conditions, lack of public health education, the internet turning isolated case into global, and anything that's spread is that is global, and it's not. It's not. All right, here are some videos that I want you to look at. Okay, so just make sure you understand this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm just trying to have you understand. Matter of fact, let's go back there. I have some. I need to say something. Okay, so tonight, Truth Seekers, we're gonna literally learn the virus that keeps popping up. Okay, so the real danger isn't global outbreak. It's the way misinformation fills the silence when people don't trust the institutions meant to protect us. So tonight, we literally separated science from superstition, the facts from fear, and the truth from the timeline. So now you know the truth now. You good? Oh yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. All right. Now we're gonna settle it down a little bit before we get into celeb gossip. Let's jam to some real facts though, and some Lego videos. Because you know I love these videos. So get ready to jam. Let me put on my little memes here because this is what we're gonna be doing. Yeah, I like this one right here. Oh yeah, and dance. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get down. Yeah, let's get down. Where's my guitar one? Oh, here it is right here. Here we go.
Let's go one floor up. past the president, past the headlines, past the cover-up. There's a group that doesn't panic when these things break loose. They don't scramble, don't call meetings, don't need an excuse, because they already knew, they always know. They're not watching the news, they're right in the flow. Old money, old names, old families running old games, different faces on the front, always the same frames. Think about it. Who makes money when the whole world gets scared? Who owns the labs? Who sells the cure? Who is prepared? When fear goes up, control goes up, and control is the point. Not the virus, not the body count. They just set the joint. They don't need a war when the virus does the job. They don't need a vote when fear controls the crowd. Money's just a curtain. Look at what's behind. The ones who never show their face are the ones who designed. Look, I know this sounds like a movie, I get it. But stay with me for 1 second. There's a magazine prints once a year out of London. Every year the cover has symbols in it. Every year, those symbols happen. This year's cover? Syringes, big ones all over it. Printed months before the ship, months before the news. I'm just saying. London One magazine printed once a year for the powerful crowd. Not for you, not for me, it's for the people allowed. Every cover full of symbols, little signs in plain sight that most of us are never supposed to read right. This year, syringes, big ones, pills stacked up aside. Printed months before the ship, before the 3 who died. Last year it was right, year before, right again, the year the whole world locked down. Go check the cover from back then. Now you can say coincidence, that's fair, I'll let you. But when the same pattern hits 10 times, it's hard to forget you. Warned. It's not a secret, it's a message in the open. The trick is they're betting you won't look. That's the whole token, not hiding it, showing it, and knowing most won't care. That's the power, the answer sitting right there in the air. So what's next? The symbols that are still on the page. Rockets and tanks, military tensions taking the stage. A birthday cake with 250, America's big year turned into a crisis while the confetti's still in the air. A brain wired to a joystick, your thoughts on someone's screen. Technology inside a vaccine, you don't know what that means. Dollar signs falling like rain, the economy going off a cliff. And after all of that, a reset, another shift. Every time a country fails, a global hand gets offered. Every time a leader cracks a bigger power's profit. See, your government can't handle it, let us step in now. That's the script, that's always been the script, that's the how. Donnie falls apart on camera, right on schedule, right on cue. People lose their faith in countries, that's the breakthrough. Then something bigger fills the space, something without a vote, something you can't remove from office, something they wrote. The cover for next year is already being designed. Same magazine, new symbols. And somewhere right now, in a room you'll never see, someone already knows what those symbols mean. Do you? Do you? Do you?
Donnie's looking for a way to make a dirty deal, dirty deal. With all this trash, is this real first, not America first? Dirty deal, dirty deal. He went to China trying to hustle for a dry deal, dry deal. But they're too smart to sign up for his dirty deal, dirty deal, dirty deal. Yeah. Trump flew to Beijing, thought he charmed the dragon's lair. Suitcase full of promises, but chat just stared. Sorry, Don, we don't do business with a sinking ship. Your empire's leaking oil. Watch the ruble and the yuan grip. You traded Taiwan for a prayer, so Ukraine down the road. Now China's brokering peace in Tehran. That's their heavy load. You came to make a dirty deal, but they wrote a cleaner one. Now your legacy's a footnote. Congratulations, you're done. Donnie's looking for a way to make a dirty deal, dirty deal. With all this trash, it's Israel first, not America first. Dirty deal, dirty deal. He went to China trying to hustle for a dry deal, they're too smart to sign up for his dirty deal. Dirty deal. Yeah. Dirty deal. Yeah. Iran holds the straight. The key's not in your hand. 10 weeks of blockade didn't go as planned. Hormuz is a fortress. Oil at 27 a barrel. Your voters at the pump feel the pain in the quarrel. You thought you bombed their missiles, now what 20% remain. Your generals lied to you. That's the truth, not a campaign. Every dirty deal you cut with BB and the crew just made the resistance stronger. What's a loser to do? Australia walked away. Germany stopped the guns. The only ally left is Israel. Look at what you become, a beggar with a tweet, a puppet with a phone. You're America first, it's just Israel first. Now you're all alone. Billions burned in sand, inflation through the roof. Your own think tanks admit the war has been a goof. You went to Beijing for a dry deal, came back dry. The dragon doesn't bargain with a loser who can't fly. Mommy's looking for a way to make a dirty deal. Dirty deal. The world just turned the page, that's the final seal. Donnie's looking for a way to make a dirty deal, dirty deal. But the world just turned the page, that's the final seal. Blinded body, blinded body, need that.
Okay, now let's talk about Willow Smith. You guys remember that? Yeah, the pregnancy rumor didn't come from a credible outlet. Remember, I started writing this script on the 12th. And today, so you might want to stay to the end of this darn video. I know I love Lego News, especially that dirty deal. I was like, oh, I was over here seriously dancing in my seat, for real. Okay. Now, where did the rumor start? The pregnancy rumor didn't come from a credible outlet. It came from fan speculation on TikTok. A few gossip blogs and people misreading recent posts where Willow was wearing loose clothing. No official source, no statement, no confirmation. This is the classic celebrity daughter plus loose shirt plus internet rumor. Yeah. Well, stay to the end of the video, Indra. We don't know yet. Now, here's the grounded verifiable part. Willow has not announced a pregnancy. Her rep have not commented. No reputable outlet like People, Variety, AP, Deadline, TMZ has reported it. Willow has been focused on music, spirituality, and creative projects, not family planning. Remember, Willow was primarily raised by Jada. Okay? Jada. Not old school Will, who believe in hard work and work your ass off to get what you want. You know, good old school parenting like his son that I said in the last live show, but I think I mixed the names up. Sorry about that. When I get in the zone, I'll be know what the hell I be saying. Okay. Remember, Will Smith was old school raising. Hard work, results. Ass up, you get out of line. Wearing your wedding band. Having a wedding. Normal. Traditional way of parenting. Jada, opposite what her mother did. Because she traumatized by that apparently. Woman is almost 60, 50 billion years old and she's still traumatized by that shit. So she raised her kids spiritually. Do what you feel is free to do. I have other things to think about. Results of that training. Although these kids are rich, but they can't help but to be rich when you have rich fucking parents. But, however, they're not bad kids. You don't see them in clubs drugging and acting stupid. They're pretty intelligent kids. They may be a little eclectic, a little unique, but they're pretty decent children. I'm sorry, they're not children. Young adults. That's what they are. Okay. So, Willow, who is known as the peacemaker, Now, remember, Will Smith's ex-wife was also old school parenting. So their son, together with his ex-wife, is the result of old school parenting. Compare it to, and then get back to me, and then you see what I'm talking about. New school, spiritual training. It's not even new school. This is her fucking training, okay? And old school with ex-wife, okay, and son. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying. What we actually know. Remember, it has not been confirmed at all. So the zero confirmed evidence if she's pregnant has not been confirmed. Why this rumor caught fire? The pattern where this is where you need to understand here. This is what always happens. Okay. The Smith family is always under a microscope, especially when she came out with her affair. So after years of Jada book, Will's public scandals, Red Table Talk, family revelations, people project drama onto kids. I mean, Willow's spiritual, quiet lifestyle, thanks to her mother, makes people speculate. When a celeb isn't loud outline, the internet fills the silence. Just I try to tell other people, just go ahead and just be honest. Instead of acting like you're some god or goddesses and get people to, think that. We're not in the age of Pisces anymore. The whole goddess shit is not going to work. Okay? So the celebrity daughter pregnancy rumor, every famous daughter goes through this. Sasha Obama went through this. Blue Ivy, and she's a child, she went through this. Zendaya went through this. Haley Bieber, well, that was before she actually became pregnant. Okay, so it's a pattern of public projection, not reality. The truth moment, what's really going on? Well, Willow has been talking publicly about healing, boundaries, self-discovery, spirituality, music, emotional growth, because she was primarily raised and hung around her mother, who's all into that shit. Okay. Not motherhood. She's also extremely private. She doesn't post her personal life because, having been raised by a mother who was clinically diagnosed with depression, it's what it is. She became the outline and the buffer between these two. Him working to try not to deal with whatever the fuck he was dealing with, because the only thing he knows is work. And she's like, okay, my career is lost and I'm stuck with these kids that I do love. I'm sure she loves her kids, but I did not want. But I do love them and I'm glad I had them. But it wasn't what my future was supposed to be. So we're dealing with depression, regret, and a whole bunch of other shit. And she was the buffer between these two. Okay. Along with Jaden. Okay. Here are some clips, and then we'll talk.
So I was scrolling through TikTok and I came upon a picture of Willow Smith, Will Smith's daughter, holding a baby girl. So of course, me being me, I went through the comment section and people were saying that fall of 2025, Willow Smith gave birth to her first child, a baby girl. And recently it's being said that the family had reunited and gotten together to spend time with Willow, her boyfriend, and the baby girl. I'm honestly very happy for Willow. She's always been a Nepo baby who's stayed out of the spotlight. Although she has a very good music career, I have a few of her songs on my Spotify playlist. It's very exciting to me that she welcomed a baby girl privately, happily, and healthy. I think it's exciting that Will Smith and Jada get to be grandparents, whether they're together or not. This may be some type of joy for their family. And honestly, 24 years old, I'm happy for Willow. Her little family is absolutely gorgeous. And in my opinion, Willow has always been a very, very responsible young woman. And I'm really happy to see these photos. Her daughter is absolutely gorgeous. And once again, congratulations to the Smith family. Hopefully, wedding bells will be ringing soon. And even if they don't, it's 2026. This is absolutely normal in Hollywood and all over the world, giving birth to a baby and living happily. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below.
Yep. So breaking news. Yep. She's 25 years old. Yeah. So she has a baby. And the father of Willow's baby girl, his name is Tyler Cole, her longtime partner, as reported in social media. Now, despite earlier tabloid speculation about baby mama pregnancy rumor, Willow chose to maintain privacy revealing the news only through intimate family moments rather than public announcements. And she didn't want to get married because she was pregnant like her mom. Now, this marks significant moments for the Smith family, with 3 generations coming together for the first time. Fans have reacted with excitement and admiration for Willow's decision to prioritize privacy while celebrating her growing family. So, congratulations, Willow Smith. I'm so happy for you. Please don't end up like your mother, okay? Or your parents in general. I do love Jade, and I'm so worried about her. I can't wait for her to get her independence and get her true self and light back. You know, I can't wait for that. I wish for nothing for the best for the Smith family. So yes, the rumor turned reality. I just wanted to put that in. I thought that was a nice little ending kick. All right. Okay. I guess I forgot about this segment. So kids, you might want to walk away. Sorry about that. I completely forgot about this story. Okay, other news here. Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, I remember him. You know what? Let's just skip over Harvey Weinstein. Who cares? All right, let's talk about some brain food. I don't even want to talk about him. All right. Are you guys ready? All righty. This is where I'm going to get so deep. And I'm going to break down this conspiracy with Kevin Hart. I hope you guys are ready for historical, and groundbreaking lesson. Yep, she had a baby, so congratulations to her. Okay, so here's what I have to say here. The jury in Hart. Oh goodness, I forgot I had that up there still. So my truth seekers, you heard it online about Kevin Hart. He's going through a humiliation ritual. Everybody said he's going through humiliation ritual. You know, this is what they do in the elite. They go through humiliation ritual. But I mean, think about that for a second. Okay. But is that an ancient truth or modern myth or just a conspiracy? Remix. I mean, tonight we're serving brain food, breaking down humiliation rituals from temples to TikTok. So you walk away enlightened, but first check this out before I get into that. Thank you for being patient. I know you guys are like, why she can't never have it together? Why is she always done? Yeah, she be like that. Huh? Anyway, all right. So whatever. Here we go. Okay, take a look at this video.
Kevin Hart and his wife are allegedly divorcing. So there's a new rumor going around that Kevin Hart and Aniko Hart could allegedly be heading towards a divorce. And people think that might explain why Kevin didn't get angry when Tom Brady brought up his cheating scandal during the official roast of Kevin Hart this past weekend. Apparently, that topic was supposed to be off limits, but Tom still went there anyway, referencing the scandal where Kevin admitted that he cheated on Aniko while she was pregnant. And what stood out to people the most was Kevin's reaction, or honestly, lack thereof. He laughed it off, kept the energy, historically was one of the biggest controversies tied to his personal life. Now, a blind item is claiming the reason he didn't care is because he and Aniko are allegedly already planning to split. And to be clear, this is Kevin Hart and his wife are allegedly divorcing. So there's a new rumor going around that Kevin Hart and Aniko Hart could allegedly be heading towards a divorce. And people think that might explain why Kevin didn't get angry when Tom Brady brought up his cheating scandal during the official roast of Kevin Hart this past weekend. Apparently, that topic was supposed to be off limits, but Tom still went there anyway, referencing the scandal where Kevin admitted that he cheated on Aniko while she was pregnant. And what stood out to people the most was Kevin's reaction, or honestly, lack thereof. He laughed it off, kept the energy moving, and seemed almost unusually relaxed about something that historically was one of the biggest controversies tied to his personal life. Now, a blind item is claiming the reason he didn't care is because he and Aniko are allegedly already planning to split. And to be clear, this is speculation, but I actually think the bigger conversation here is less about whether the rumor is true and more about why people find it believable so quickly. Because Kevin Hart's entire public image over the last several years has basically been built around the idea of redemption. After that cheating scandal, the narrative became he messed up, he took accountability, he went to therapy, he rebuilt his family, and he became a better husband and father. That redemption arc became part of his brand. So if the marriage actually did end, I think a lot of people would start questioning whether that transformation was genuine personal growth or just very effective PR damage control. And honestly, that's why the roast moment matters culturally. People online don't just consume celebrity news anymore. They analyze behavior like detectives. Fans pay attention to body language, reactions, jokes, who seems uncomfortable and who seems detached. Celebrity culture has become so hyper-analyzed that people think every small moment reveals some hidden truth. At the same time, I also think the internet has become extremely cynical about celebrity relationships in general, especially when it comes to powerful male celebrities with histories of cheating rumors. There's almost this expectation now that scandals get smoothed over publicly while bigger problems continue privately behind the scenes. And because Kevin has had cheating allegations floating around for years in blind items and gossip circles, people are connecting this new rumor back to that history immediately. But I do think there's another side to this too. Sometimes audiences project narratives onto celebrities because we expect patterns to repeat. Once someone gets labeled publicly as the cheating husband, every rumor afterwards suddenly feels believable whether there's evidence or not. Still, if this rumor actually does turn out to be true, people are definitely going to revisit a lot of Kevin's past interviews and public messaging differently, because the entire story for years has been about rebuilding trust and saving the marriage. So if that relationship ends anyway, people will naturally ask whether celebrity redemption arcs are more about image preservation than real change. Let me know what you think, because this feels like one of those stories where the public reaction is almost more interesting than the rumor itself. Is Kevin Hart planning on divorcing his wife? Let me know what you think in the comments below and follow me for more celebrity tea.
I'm going to be real here. Kevin Hart, I'm not a huge fan of Kevin Hart because I think an egotistical narcissist and very arrogant. He uses money to make him look high, powerful, and giant-like. You know, he uses, you know, his private jet, private plane, money, and things of that nature. And he treat this woman here, who I don't even know who the hell she is. I think she was a TikTok model or an Instagram model. I don't know if she has a career. She seemed to be very submissive, giving me some casty vibes in it, you know, energy. She has always gave me that kind of energy. Like, just do what I say, be submissive. You don't ever see her out doing her own independent thing. She's always well hidden, well behaved and shit. And he liked that stuff because, you know, he is a very shorter stature man. So he needs something to elevate his whole ego, which is his money, his power. And a young lady who apparently likes to be treated this way. If Kevin Hart cheated on her, it's nothing new because that's what he did to his ex-wife repeatedly. And then built the entire career mocking her on the fact that he cheated. Kevin Hart do steal material. He stole from Cat Williams. He stole from Bill Cosby with the whole, your mother sent me up here to beat you or kill you. Y'all remember Bill Cosby did a whole stand-up saying the whole thing. He sat down in the chair. Remember? Your mother sent me up here to kill you. Because his son shaved his hair off or some shit like that. It was a whole comedy special Bill Cosby did. He just took it from Bill Cosby and remixed it. He do steal material. Him and Cedric the Entertainer. They ain't nobody's fucking material stealer. Cat Williams is telling the truth. Those are facts. But let's get back to this roast. Let's get back to the ritual here. So if he did cheat it, she know he cheated, and he been cheating. He was cheating that day in the accident when they was driving. They were doing some nasty shit. They were all drunk, okay? She partaked in it. He treated her like a Cassie. She know that shit. He know that shit, and they don't care. She want to deal with it because she feel that she can't live without his money or whatever. That's her goddamn problem. I couldn't do that if I had the option to leave, I will leave. I would not stay in this fucking position. Fuck that shit. I would come up on my career off his ass. That's what the hell I would do. But moving right along here. Okay. Let's talk about the real rituals here. Because this was a roast, and Cat Williams definitely did roast him. But let's get deep in here. Now, the ancient culture's humiliation, you understand this. During the ancient cultures, the real rituals, because people are starting to really think all of these are rituals. We need to dig deeper and go into the past on what rituals really existingly meant. Okay? Originally meant. Okay, so you understand, in ancient cultures, humiliation wasn't punishment, it was the initiation. That's what it was in ancient cultures, okay? What they do first, okay? This is serious, okay? They isolated. Isolation was one of the ancient rituals. They cut people off from their family, the high independence on the group. Some people, a lot of husbands do that so they can control the person. I'm living proof of that, trying to break out of that shit right now, okay? That's why I try to urge people to not get married when you're young to an older guy. It's hard to break out of that shit, seriously. Yeah, I say one of them, I'm one of them, and several other people. It's hard to break out of that. And we already see what happened to Celine Dion. She's completely deluded and her husband's dead. So anyway, moving right along here. So isolation. They cut you off from your family to high independence on the group. Then you go into a deep fasting, weaken the body, sharpen the spirit. Because fasting, your trigger, your common sense, your brain is not functioning right when you're hungry. So it's easy to brainwash someone. So they used to have them fast to weaken the body and sharpen the spirit. They used to call it sharpening the spirit. You know, get rid of toxins and all that stuff. And then there's spiritual, darkness, symbolic death, stage danger. So while the person is hungry, isolated, cut off from their family, cut off from their beliefs, they start triggering people. They start scaring, they instill fear into the people by saying this can happen if so-and-so, so-and-so. Like doing sacrificing rituals, fighting, sexual rituals, you know, ditty parties, freak offs, That's what they do. Instill fear into them. Drugs, whatever they have to do to keep them in line, to brainwash them. Okay. And then it's a humiliation, mockery, stripping of the status, symbolic death of the old self, whether it's social media or whatever. Saying if you don't listen to me, you're still not getting it, you're still not scared. Okay, fine, cool. I'm going to humiliate you. Break some breaking news of whatever crap that can embarrass you or scare you or whatever. That's what I'm going to do. Strip you of your seniority status. Let people see who you really are or what I can perceive for you to be. Okay, whatever depiction I can put out, I will put out there. Punchline, what we call humiliation today, they called it transformation back in the day. Those are the distinctive transitions of rituals. Keep that in mind when you're talking about today. Rituals are drastically different. Some of them are not rituals because it's the outcome of these rituals. Okay, and that's where it's different. So question is, who did it? Well, at the time, anyone to go through or put someone through a humiliation ritual, it has to be loved ones, elders, which means symbolically, if it was symbolic, it meant to elevate them. So loved ones, like I'm teaching you how to hunt. I'm teaching you to be brave. I'm teaching you how to live in this really chaotic and bloody world. This is back in ancient times. To defend yourself, to protect your family, to protect your village, to become a leader, to not be easily threatened, to not make rash decisions when your brain is not getting nutrients it's supposed to learn to still think when you're hungry and scared. That's what these ancient rituals were teaching. Slash rivals doing it when they're trying to join some kind of political group. So it becomes hostile. It meant to dominate them. Like you take your enemies and like they did slaves. Oh, I bet. I bet. This is what they did to our ancient slaves back in the day. They did this to our ancient slaves. They stripped them of their common sense and mechanism to make them servitude, to make them submissive. So enemies did that to their rivals, to dominate them. So punchline is sacred hands, humiliation was rebirth. Your loved ones do it to rebirth you. The enemy do it for destruction and dominance. See, that's the difference. Okay? Think about that. Okay. The ancient rewards. Okay. Spiritual elevation, hidden wisdom, priesthood, sacred mysteries. So spiritual elevation means hidden wisdom, priesthood, sacred mysteries. This is what the rewards were after the humiliation, which was done. You get spiritual elevation, hidden wisdom, priesthood, if that's what you want, and sacred mysteries. Like you get into the circle of the secrets like Elon Musk is doing, but Trump is just using it for his money and his power. Social elevation. Yeah. So you get some kind of social circle, royal caste. You get into the warrior caste. You be among the warriors and stuff, the elite circles. It could be a symbolic rebirth, a new identity. You come from being one of the slaves to being a leader. People looking up to you. You are the leader now. You are a man. You're a woman, or whatever the gender is. You get a new identity, a status, authority. Those were the ancient rewards. So the reward wasn't money, it was belonging and sacred power at the time. Okay. Now, the modern conspiracy culture. Fast forward to today, online humiliation rituals are framed as tests of loyalty for fame. Humiliation means today scandal, growth, downfall. That's what people perceive it as now. The test is how can you endure it? How can you endure the shame without rebelling? Like, Kanye West kind of did. Reward, though, if you can endure it without rebelling and take it, you get fame boost, brand deals, algorithmic favor, which means things start coming into your favor. So yesterday's ritual was about wisdom. Today is about visibility and money and fame. Isn't it? Let's talk about that for a second. Okay. Let's dig deep into the reward here. Because conspiracy believers say humiliation equals real reward, but real life, you got to understand, it shows otherwise. People who went through Rose humiliation rituals didn't get the rewards like the ancient people did, whether it's submissiveness or, I don't know, leadership or enlightenment, or just get elevated as a man to take care of your future family and your village. Okay, that was back in the day. Like a father is supposed to do to their son and mother is supposed to do to their daughters. But today it's all screwed up. Okay, let's talk about Greg. This is Greg Giraldo. Greg Giraldo. He was roasted brilliantly, but he died tragically in 2010. He took it like a man and he didn't get no rewards. He died tragically. No career advancement, nothing. He just died tragically, even though he took the humiliation. Okay. Patrice O'Neal, legendary roast. Legendary. He passed away weeks later. He took it like a man. Didn't get no reward. He died. Okay. Bob Saget, also known as Danny Tanner, took his roast with grace, laughed with them. I saw it. No career boost. He passed away in 2022. And it was rumored that he used to molest Mary-Kate Ashley, that he's a pedophile. No career advancement at all. So, okay. Anna Nicole Smith, she didn't go through a TV broadcasting roast. Hers was public humiliation, spiraled into tragedy. She died in a very tragic way, and her son shortly followed. No reward. This died with humiliation and rumors. Yeah, different rituals. Then there's the famous Richard Pryor, which are different. Roasted in 1977. Already, you understand, Richard Pryor didn't do it for further elevation. He was already a legend when he got his roast. He just did it because he just wanted to do it. He was already a legend in the midst of his roast, and then changed his trajectory. He still was famous. He's still an icon today. I mean, his sickness didn't come until like 10, 15, 20 years later. So rituals are not always what it is. The rituals back then were for different reasons. See? That's what I'm trying to get you to understand here. Okay. James Franco, roasted in 2013. Later derailed by a scandal, he took his ritual like a man. And nothing happened to him. He's still having hits in this. I don't even know if he's still alive. That's how bad it is. So understand these humiliations are not the same. You guys are elevating humiliations for something that's sacred back in the day and something that's sick and barbaric back in slavery times. So if humiliation rituals were real, every roast would make a star bigger or in some kind of way. But some careers stalled, some collapsed, and some lives ended. So are there real humiliations or just people just saying that shit? Let's talk about the history versus myth. Now, this is where people, and this was AI, and they made two versions of Rihanna. I don't know why they did that. I say old and then new. Okay, we just say that because Rihanna is not the same anymore at all. So in the 2000s, first of all, that's another about Rihanna. Rihanna has been in the industry since she was like 14 and 15. I don't think she has any social skills, and it shows the way she acts toward her fans who talks to her. The woman has no social skills at all. I don't even think she has any idea of normal, I don't know, social intimacy with a friend or whatever. I think her level of normalcy is up there with probably Michael Jackson and Beyonce. Think about that the next time you see her snapping at fans or anyone else who try to talk to her. Anyway, so in the 2000s to the 2010s, Black entertainers became the main target of Illuminati rumors. This is what this parlayed into. Okay. Jay-Z and Beyonce was the primary people. Kanye followed after. Rihanna followed after. Their success was framed as suspicious. Like, what are they successful for? Instead of celebrities or we're celebrating Black wealth, Whisper said they didn't earn it. They sold out. Now, some of them did sold out. Some of them did literally build a career on pain and suffering and copying and camouflaging it as being a good hard worker when it was built on manipulation, sabotaging, and blood, and a whole bunch of other shit, and it's still living off of it. Yeah, I'm pointing to the person who's literally like that. not good, hardworking, talents, and geniuses. Hence Kanye West, Beyonce, and even fucking Rihanna. Good old-fashioned, hardworking intelligence. Not sabotaging, killing, stealing, anything else you can fucking do. Now, then the myth turned achievement into suspicions, making Black stars the face of conspiracy culture. So the myth wasn't about Illuminati, it was about society fear of Black power. So that's where the Illuminati is. And I told you I don't believe in Illuminati when it comes to Black people, because Black people cannot be a part of Illuminati, because Illuminati is elite, racist elite. We're never a part of that, ever. He's not in it, and none of these MFs are in it either. It was just a conspiracy and a rumor to downgrade Black people's power, saying they can't be rich, they have to be a part of the Illuminati. But that's not the fact at all. It's not the fact. It's not the fact. It's not. Okay, it's not. So believers imagine a cycle of humiliation, loyalty, test, reward, repeat. This is where the conspiracy comes from. So we say it again. People believe in this conspiracy that humiliation is a loyalty test, and then they get a reward. I just proved to you that's not the fact. Okay? Sometimes they add sacrifice. They may have to commit a sacrifice. In some cases, that is true. Tragedy as the price of fame. In some cases, that is true. But what follows after let you know if that was true or not. Okay? Certain people who I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck she's famous, Hudson, with the talk show, has no experience at all, got a talk show with people who should have got a talk show years ago, like Whoopi Goldberg, other motherfuckers, and this bitch, never mind. So anyway, in some cases it is true. It's all about the outcome if it's true. But the cycle is mythic, not real. It's a script people use to explain fame's rise, fall, and comeback. But look at the past and the background of these people. It will let you know if they are people who usually using manipulation of mystic powers, blood intimidation, or witchcraft to elevate their star status. Beyonce and her mom do practice witchcraft, but Beyonce is literally on a, let's say, the jury is still out if she used witchcraft and magical powers, because considering she is very hardworking, along with Rihanna, along with Kanye West. This MF, no. The rest of these people, yes. Their star status could be based on good old-fashioned hard work. Okay? So, what can we say? So when you hear humiliation ritual, remember, ancient times, humiliation equals initiation into wisdom. Remember, ancient times, humiliation is initiation to wisdom, to becoming a man, to becoming a woman, whatever. Modern times, they say humiliation, conspiracy narrative about fame, even though the outcome is not the same as ancient times. Two different rituals getting mixed up. Okay? Today's is based on racism, okay, and jealousy in certain cases. So reality, humiliation often equals decline, tragedy, or just comedy. So it could be this person is either just a comedian and just want people to just, their enemies, just to get all that shit out there, make it a whole comic relief, and we can all be friends. Like Richard Pryor did. Okay? That's all it is. I don't know why Kevin Hart did it, because Kevin Hart is going through financial distress at the moment. He has to close a lot of his businesses. He is losing a lot of money. He's not getting a lot of gigs anymore, because he's not really good. Never mind. So he's not getting a lot of gigs anymore, so his money is not bopping and popping like it used to be. So that's another, down factor as well. In this new age, he's not going to be elevated in this new age anyway, but you get the gist. So just to end it here, humiliation doesn't guarantee reward. It only guarantees revelation. The myth is neat, but reality is messy, and the truth will always outshine ritual, which means some people are not going through humiliation ritual. It's not the same. Some people are just having a bad fucking time in their lives, okay? They're not going through a ritual. Some people did sacrifice their family for fame. Some people got their fame from good old-fashioned hard work. Some people may use witchcraft to keep that elevated status, or it could be because they are just lucky. Who knows? The jury's still out. With that said, I'm out. I hope you guys enjoy the show. I have the timestamps within a couple hours. I have to rest my head because I do have a lot of stuff to do tonight. Thank you for staying out the duration of this video. It'll probably be a while before another video. I'll try to do another video next week sometime. Good night. Bye.
We see you, we see you, we remember, we remember. I am the storm, I am the storm, I am the silence, I am the silence, I am the truth unveiled, I am the truth unveiled.
Your